Keep in mind that this system is an ongoing process. For an up-to-date list of the current clusters and global leads, I always go to oneresponse.info. For an overview on the cluster approach at the global and country levels, I refer to the IASC guidance note, which can also be found at that website. Of course, many of these areas need to work together. Water, sanitation and hygiene, or WASH, for example, affects health. Shelter and education share common ground too. People may use schools for temporary shelter. In addition, several of the clusters, CCCM, early recovery and protection, affect all aspects of humanitarian response, and therefore work with all the other areas. And finally, there are additional issues such as gender, age, HIV/AIDS, and environment that are not clusters but are also cross-cutting. But you know what I do not understand? Why do people insist on calling it gender equality, when in truth it is only about women? Alright, but even if you focus on the needs of men and boys too, it is still a luxury to consider gender issues in life and death situations. Do you agree? Okay, so humanitarian assistance should be provided to everyone fairly, regardless of sex or age. I agree, but I still think dealing with those issues during emergencies is not appropriate. Saving lives is the most important thing in an emergency. Gender is just too complex to address during a crisis. I say let the development experts deal with gender equality because those kinds of issues require long-term change of attitudes and beliefs. I see your point. Humanitarian workers have an obligation to ensure that nobody is overlooked. It is our job to meet the need and protect the rights of everyone. The sooner we understand the different needs and capacities of women, girls, boys, and men, the better we can ensure equal access and opportunities. Oh, I think we're about to land. I will meet you at the Humanitarian Coordination Office for our briefings.
Hi, I am Maya, the OCHA Humanitarian Coordinator. This is the Humanitarian Coordination Office, where the program planning takes place, along with briefings and debriefings.
Blocked up and supplies running low, people in camps, schools closed, we ain't got enough medical supplies, the fields flooded, so that means ain't no food production, so you have an idea of what you're going into.
Another passenger on your flight recognizes you as a fellow humanitarian worker and introduces herself as Sarah.
See, she saw my guidance.
Sarah has been working in humanitarian situations for more than 5 years.
She saw my guidance.
She is also traveling to Hatout to respond to the emergency. She glances at the materials that you have both received, including the IASC Gender Handbook.
I see we have some of the same materials with us. I have been reading about the IASC and the cluster approach. One of the ways that the IASC works to strengthen humanitarian action is by advocating for a coordinated approach. The cluster approach addresses gaps and makes humanitarian action more effective, predictable, and accountable. Have you heard about this?
To, along with working with others, be able to put together a report like this on a situation. So if something happens, like when something happened on the hill, since that one of our grounds or within any camp, we're supposed to be able to have assessment teams done to be able to, so that we could provide the necessary aid that required, not just, you know, an open-ended call for money.
Realize therefore human rights and potential to contribute to national, political, economic, social, personal, and cultural development and to the benefit equally from their results. It's false.
True or false? Understanding women's special needs provides the basis for mainstreaming gender equality.
gotta
It was
understand the
wrong.
men's needs also. So, yeah, that is right. Mainstreaming gender equality is about more than just women's needs. It is about the way their resources and opportunities are important to women, girls, boys, and men, and how this impacts how they relate to each other. Understanding those relationships is essential for effective programming and protecting opportunities to promote equality or avoid reinforcing inequality.
Good question. How many people would say that by the title of this course, it would be something that you think would focus primarily on women's rights or the facilitation of women's rights? Good.
I think it is basically, it's focusing on people in different circumstances. A woman is not a pregnant woman, so so things like that. A disabled man is not, as you would say, a standard man. An elderly man or a young man is, that's what I think.
True or false? Mainstreaming gender equality is about understanding that women, girls, boys, and men have different needs.
Yeah, sure.
I knew it was going to get you.
Oh my God.
They going to catch you in the last question.
Okay, let's read it. Go ahead, read your piece. Go ahead.
That is incorrect. Mainstreaming gender equality is about more than just understanding that women, girls, boys, and men have different needs in an emergency. It is also about understanding the ways in which the different roles and expectations within a society dictate what it means to be male or female, and subsequently how this shapes context and the situation in which you're programming. Needs are important, but to meet those needs, we have to understand the communities we work with, and we cannot do that without understanding gender roles. Mainstreaming gender equality is about applying our knowledge of gender to implement more effective programs and to take opportunities as they present themselves to promote equality between women, girls, boys, and men.
So the answer is false.
Yes.
True or false? During an emergency, gender advisors are the only people responsible for addressing gender issues.
False. What about the people on the field? That's what I'm saying. The advisors are the ones supervising.
What do you say, Jack Evan?
During an emergency, gender advisors are only responsible for addressing gender issues. Sure.
You think that's true?
Why not?
I say everyone's responsible.
Let's go with the true.
Everyone's responsible because everyone's
But
gonna be
everybody is
responsible.
accountable, like things.
Yeah.
I didn't choose that, so false.
Like I say, don't.
I didn't choose that either. I didn't choose that either.
These questions don't
Armed
matter.
conflict, natural disasters, and related crisis situations have profoundly different impacts on women, girls, boys, and men.
True.
Yes, but it's not true. Now we could understand why.
True or false? For teams in the field, having a balance of women and men, both internationally and locally recruited, is essential.
True.
Truly.
Want to say true?
Should be evident why.
Please continue your preparation for deployment by reviewing the fast facts on gender in humanitarian action, as well as the international legal framework for protection related to gender equality. These documents are also located in the resources section. Please continue your preparation for deployment by reviewing the available material. Select and review the situation report for Hatuk.
What I
Then,
want y'all to do-
click Next to access pre- and post-disaster maps of Hatuk.
is keep your situation report.
Select each area of the map
When
to
you
gain
open it up,
background information on
keep
Hatuk
that
prior to
window
the
available to
disaster.
you. Don't just close it out. Keep the situation report.
The equality
And-
one?
No, not this one. I just run into it. It explained it. That's the same questions we just answered. Like I say, you could always come back. I have these to print out. These are valuable tools